se hicieron virales por mostrarse demasiado íntimos en el concierto de Wendy's Chai. Las imágenes muestran a la pareja entre el público, completamente ajenos a quienes les rodeaban, comportándose de una forma que traspasaba los límites de lo normal. Sus muestras públicas de afecto dejaron atónitos a los espectadores, que sacaron sus teléfonos para grabarlos. Una vez que el vídeo llegó a internet, se hizo viral al instante y todo el mundo los criticó. La gente argumentó que no deberían comportarse así en público, pero la última actualización cambia por completo esa narrativa. En una entrevista, la mujer afirmó que ni siquiera conocía al hombre del vídeo. Se puede ver claramente que se sentía incómoda y angustiada. Cuando el hombre se dio cuenta de que nadie lo detenía, se volvió más atrevido. Ella dijo que no se defendió porque la multitud estaba abarrotada y no tenía a dónde ir. No se trataba de una pareja compartiendo su afecto. Es un acoso sexual descarado. El hombre se aprovechó de la música alta y el caos para hacer algo totalmente inapropiado a la vista de todos. La mujer pidió ayuda a gritos, pero nadie la oyó. En lugar de intervenir, la gente siguió grabando y compartiendo las imágenes, lo que acabó mancillando su reputación. Tras el incidente, la mujer lo denunció a la policía y ha presentado formalmente cargos contra el hombre. ¿Qué opinas? Comparte tu opinión en los comentarios.
Breaking news out of Stockton, California, where police say multiple people have been shot. The ABC affiliate in the area says 4 people are dead and more than 10 people have been shot in a shooting at a family gathering.
The latest in the line of mass shootings in our country, the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office has not provided any other information yet about the circumstances or the gunman, but Governor Newsom has been briefed on this situation. Stockton has a history with mass shootings. In fact, there was a time when Stockton was home to the worst secondary school mass shooting in America until Columbine. It was 1989, a mass shooting at Cleveland Elementary School. 5 school children were killed, 31 others were shot. The gunman turned his weapon on himself, killed himself, but Stockton was home to one of the most notorious school shootings before it was really a thing in the United States. And then Columbine came along 10 years later, and assault weapon ban expired, and we've seen what has happened in the interim since that shooting.
All I want is my son. I just want my son.
We have an update regarding the devastating passing of Marshawn Kneeland. Last night, the police were called due to a concern that Marshawn Kneeland could be attempting to pass away. But by the time the police got the call, it was already too late. Marshawn Kneeland had already left his home and was well exceeding the speed limit while driving. This resulted in a police chase, where the cops were then informed of Marshawn's intentions. Kneeland's car then crashed and Marshawn fled the scene on foot. The police unfortunately lost sight of Marshawn Kneeland, and he was later found deceased due to a self-inflicted wound. Marshawn Kneeland had been dealing with depression since the passing of his mother last year. It did not help that Marshawn then suffered a significant injury last season, ending his Defensive Rookie of the Year hopes, as well as it caused him to be distant from his teammates and friends. Marshawn Kneeland left his home last night with the intention to pass away, and sadly, it did happen. Marshawn Kneeland, we all miss you, and you're going to be greatly missed in this world. Our thoughts and prayers go out to your family, friends, teammates, coaches, and loved ones.
My son only tried to rob you, and you took his life. That was an abuse of force, Channy. You must pay for this.
A Georgia veteran was arrested and charged with murder after killing 3 teenagers who broke into his home and robbed him. On October 31st, around 4 a.m., 3 masked teenagers arrived at the home of 86-year-old veteran Arthur. After observing him for 3 days, they noticed he lived alone and figured no one would care if he went missing, so they decided to rob him. Just as they were rummaging through the belongings in the living room, Arthur spotted them, and a standoff ensued between the 2 parties. A series of gunshots rang out, and the neighbors, startled by the gunfire, called 911 to report the incident. When the police arrived, 3 teenagers had been shot and lay in the living room. 2 were pronounced dead after being rushed to the hospital, while the 3rd died on the spot. It was later confirmed that among the deceased was a pair of 15-year-old brothers. The parents of the teenagers could not accept Arthur's actions. They demanded the prosecutor charge him with murder, arguing that Arthur's retaliation was excessive and not justified as self-defense. However, the testimonies of multiple witnesses provided different perspectives. They confirmed that the 3 teenagers not only wore masks, but also carried weapons, and they were the ones who fired the first shots. Arthur only fired back after being attacked. After thorough investigation by the jury and law enforcement, it was ultimately decided not to entertain the parents' lawsuit. Under Georgia's justifiable defense law and the Stand Your Ground statute, the homeowner's actions were deemed entirely lawful and did not constitute excessive self-defense. This veteran fought to defend the country in his youth, and now, living alone, he was robbed. He stood up to protect himself.
Not guilty. You're a hero, not a criminal.
Do you think this constitutes justifiable defense? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.
This corner looked more like a crime scene than a school bus stop this morning. Parents called police after finding an electric fence just inches away from where their children wait for the bus. The man who put up the fence says he had finally had it with students trespassing and leaving trash in his yard. He figured the fence would keep them out.
I'm not in charge of other people's children. All I can do is protect myself.
But jolted neighbors thought the fence was too extreme. They called police, and police called Public Works, who questioned whether the fence encroached on a county easement.
Show me what's the truth, everybody.
No one realized that less than 24 hours after Diamond Queen was assaulted by two men at Wendy Shay's concert, Wendy took 3 chilling actions that made the two men pay dearly for their deeds. During Wendy's concert, the two men harassed Diamond Queen without reason. Despite her repeated expressions of disgust, they forcibly grabbed and pulled her, ignoring her resistance. This abhorrent behavior sparked widespread outrage among the audience. As the event organizer, Wendy refused to stay silent and immediately took action to fight back against the two men. First, Wendy publicly released witness testimonies to confirm the assault. She collected and shared footage filmed by multiple on-site attendees, which clearly documented the entire process from the two men approaching and pestering Diamond Queen to physically assaulting her. This completely shattered any possibility of claiming consensual interaction and instantly ignited a wave of public condemnation against the perpetrators online. Second, Wendy hired a legal team to sue the two men for malicious harassment. They face a minimum of 6 months in prison and are required to pay Diamond Queen $50,000 in compensation for emotional damages. Finally, Wendy called on all her fans to boycott the two men's reckless behavior and demanded that all events associated with her add the two men to a blacklist, aiming to prevent similar violent incidents from occurring.
Breaking news, 2 kidnappers dressed as clowns attempted to abduct a girl. The little girl wearing a white dress was playing arcade games in front of a store when a black car pulled up beside her, and a man dressed as a clown got out. He approached the little girl and tried to communicate with her, praising her for playing so well. At this moment, another clown got out of the car holding balloons. After looking around and noticing that the girl's family wasn't nearby, he opened the back door of the car. The 2 clowns then began playing with the girl, telling her it would be fun. The little girl seemed to enjoy the clowns. 2 minutes later, one of the clowns suggested taking her to the amusement park. The little girl was delighted, and the 2 clowns quickly pulled her to the car, preparing to take her away. The young woman in the video noticed this, stepped forward, pulled the little girl back from the clowns and hugged her, pretending to be the little girl's older sister. She questioned the clowns about where they were taking her sister and threatened to call the police. Upon seeing this, the 2 clowns immediately drove away. The police are currently pursuing the 2 clowns. Please share this video with your friends so they know to be extra careful.
On your screen now, you're looking at staff and shoppers running out again as those shots were fired, scared.
First, a Black Friday mall shooting in Northern California. At least 2 people have been shot. This is all unfolding at the Westfield Valley Fair Mall in Santa Clara. This is just west of downtown San Jose.
Police say 2 people have been shot, and right now officers are still clearing the building as a precaution, even though they say there's no active shooter and no ongoing threat to the public at this time. Now you're looking at chopper video from above, and it shows you just how busy today was. A completely packed parking lot, thousands of cars filling every space around one of the Bay Area's largest shopping centers. Take a look at your screen right now, that bullet hole through a window, just shocking footage. And as you know, this is again one of the busiest shopping days of the year. Black Friday typically brings malls to almost full capacity. Now, San Jose police say the shooting happened around 5:40. 2 people were hit and taken to the hospital. Their conditions still unknown at this hour.
Una mujer compró todos los pollos asados de la tienda, el día antes del Día de Acción de Gracias, pero la malinterpretaron por completo. Nadie imaginó que había comprado todos los pollos para repartirlos en la calle, gratis, a las personas sin hogar. En el Sam's Club de Los Ángeles, cuando colocó el último pollo asado en su carrito, los clientes que la rodeaban ya no pudieron contenerse. Algunos la llamaron egoísta, algunos la acusaron de arruinar el espíritu navideño, otros incluso le gritaron: "Una cristiana como tú no haría algo así". Todos asumieron que estaba acaparando para revenderlos o sacar provecho, pero ella permaneció en silencio, sonriendo mientras se dirigía a la caja. No discutió, ni una sola vez, porque sabía que todos los juicios eran erróneos. Horas más tarde, la misma mujer apareció en las calles de Los Ángeles. No se había llevado los pollos a casa, ni los revendió a un precio más alto. En cambio, colocó una mesa plegable en la acera, cortó el pollo caliente, lo sirvió en platos y lo repartió. Decidió recordar a todos, a su manera, que no hay que juzgar precipitadamente a los demás, porque nunca se sabe. Alguien podría estar haciendo en silencio lo que tú nunca harías. ¿Qué opinas al respecto? Traducción realizada con la versión gratuita del traductor de pele.com.